Wade and Wade Reacts.
This is our review for the Acolyte, episode 8.
The Acolyte episode 8 started off where episode 6 left off, with Osha putting on the helmet that belonged to Khmer. And while she has his helmet on, she's seeing visions of the future, which she believes May is trying to kill Soul. May has a lightsaber drawn, about to strike Soul down. So she believes that she has to go and search for May and Soul so that she can save Soul from May. Later finds out that May is not the one who's attempting to kill Soul, but she's the one. Osha herself is the one who's making an attempt to kill Soul, because Soul makes the confession that he killed her mother Anasea, without giving explanation as to why he killed her mother. But that admission angers Osha and causes Osha to not kill Soul with a lightsaber, but to choke him out with the Force.
Yeah.
And Soul doesn't do anything to fight against it. He tries to mumble and utter some words, but the words were unintelligible. Then he dies. I thought that he was unconscious. I thought that would have been a better way to end Soul's story, but turned out later on in the episode, they revealed that he was dead. Rewinding a little bit, there were a couple of good things in this episode. You had the fight between Soul and Khmer. That was decent. It wasn't as good as the fight scenes in episode 5. Did a couple of things in that fight scene that I was like, it could have been choreographed a little bit better. Maybe they could have done a couple of more takes to get it to be a little bit cleaner, but it was decent. The fight between Osha and May looked too wushu. It looked too kung fu Chinese style opera fighting. That type of fighting should not exist in Star Wars, because we are not even in the same galaxy. We're in separate galaxies. So the martial arts that they do should be unique to their galaxy or the planet that they got trained on.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the episode, not just the episode, but the whole series lacked continuity. The episode was lackluster, and as I've said in previous reviews, I don't see how they could close the series in a way that made sense, and they didn't. I was exactly right.
Yeah, we already knew how this series was going to end, with more whackness, more garbage, more booty cheeks, just like how it started off. This episode did not satisfy me at all. I didn't even care for the fights because the story didn't even engage me. Only thing I can say, some good stuff about this show, I like the actors in the show. I know some people don't like Amanda Steinberg. I like what she brought to the show, being Osha and May. That's a hard task for anybody to pull out. Did she do it the best that an actress could do? No, but it was still, watchable, passable. I believe that it was two people.
Yeah.
Master Soul, he was cool. The guy that played him, I forgot his name, but I like him. The guy that played the stranger, Khmer, I liked him. He was a good, compelling villain. I wish the show would have been about him.
Exactly.
Instead of Osha and May, or if you're gonna have it about Osha and May, give him, the amount of time. I even like, what's the guy's name? That was, he had the swoop dread. Yord. I even like that character. He was cool. And the other girl too, Jackie, Master Soul's apprentice. That character was cool, but that's about it. Just the actors were likable. This series as a whole was garbage. I didn't care for this episode when it was some questionable things that was going on, like episode 7. Or was it, episode 7, nobody wants to explain what's going on. Osha asked Soul, did you kill my mother? Yeah, I did kill your mother, because she turned to a black smoke monster who was going to attack a Padawan that I'm cool with, and possibly me. That's why I killed her.
And not only was she turning into a black smoke monster, as you put it, but the twin, or not the twin, the other half of Osha, he thought was Osha, but it was actually May. He was trying to protect her from what the mother could have been doing.
Yeah, and then you got May talking about you got to turn yourself over to the Jedi Council. First of all, how do you know what that is? Who told you about the Jedi Council? You never been here. You never been to Coruscant. Then, not only did she say then you turn yourself to the Jedi Council. Wait a minute, you need to turn yourself into the Jedi Council because you killed Master Endar and you gave Master Torben the potion or the poison to kill him. This show made no sense, and just like The Last Jedi, this season of The Acolyte, which I hope this is the only season, possibly a season 2, hope they don't, has turned me to the dark side. I feel like Anakin on Mustafar, when he was that one tear came out of his eyes and then he turned and he had the yellow Sith eyes. Cause this mess don't make no sense. And then they threw little stuff in there like Darth Plagueis and Yoda to get the fans riled up. And for the people that aren't diehard Star Wars fans, they're just normal, they're not fanatics, they see right through that. Hey, this is trash, I don't care about that.
Right.
And for the people that are fanatics of Star Wars, that you can put Star Wars on top of anything and they will say, I like this, are the guys that will take Yoda and Plagueis and be happy with it, when at the end of the day, it's like putting sprinkles, cherries, and whipped cream on top of boo-boo and saying it's chocolate ice cream. It's still doo-doo. It ain't nothing different. It's nasty. Exactly. Come on now. This how this series is. It's a series of trash, and they're going to keep getting away with it. And if the Star Wars fans keep eating it up and people say, Disney, they're about making money now. They have billions and billions of dollars. Disney is just, since the 50s? Mm-hmm. They can afford to lose as much money as they want to put out whatever they want to put out.
Exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did put together a season 2. But as you stated, nobody wants it for real, except for those people that are satisfied with anything that is under the banner of Star Wars. I do not want to see Plagueis subject to these terrible writers who have no idea what Star Wars is truly about. These writers who have not studied the lore, yet they have been given the job to create a Star Wars series. And you can tell they don't know anything about the lore because it seems like this series is not even connected to Star Wars. Yeah, they have lightsabers. Yeah, they fly in ships. Yeah, they have a group called Jedi and a group called the Sith and some new group called the Witch Coven. But this is not Star Wars. It's unidentifiable. And who wants to see Plagueis or Yoda or any other legendary figure or character from Star Wars be fleshed out or given lines by these terrible writers? I do not want to see Yoda utter a line from these writers because the dialogue was trash in the series. It was garbage. The words didn't flow right. The dialogue didn't seem like it was native to the Star Wars universe. I don't want to see Plagueis or Yoda under these writers. Man, destroy this. This needs to be canceled, cut. It needs to be thrown right back into the pit of hell that it came out of.
Yeah, and this is for the Star Wars fans that, they have lapse in memory. They can't remember, because I see a lot of people talk about, hey, she can't bleed the crystal that easily. It takes more work. Darth Vader in the comic book, when he bled, no, actually, if you go back and watch Jedi Survivor, the High Republic Jedi that turned to the dark side, he bled his lightsaber easy. He just touched the crystal and it bled. Then they're talking about how can she do the force choke and all this. First of all, they said she got trained. And then on top of that, y'all forgetting that Rey shot electricity out of her hand and she did a Jedi mind trick without ever doing anything. So at this point, Disney doesn't care about building things up and setting things up, foreshadowing. They don't know what that is.
Exactly. You said it perfectly. They don't care about setup. They don't care about giving you a hint as to what is going to come. They don't care about building a character up through training. All they care about is telling their story by any means necessary. But you can't tell a compelling story or a story worth remembering if the main character doesn't have true difficulty. And in the case of Star Wars, if a Sith Lord or a Jedi doesn't have training. You can't just do these things. You can't just throw them into the story and they're all powerful immediately. It doesn't work like that, and it shouldn't work like that. And that's one of the main reasons why diehard Star Wars fans or fans who have been fans of the work since the sequels and the prequels can't get with this stuff. They can't support it because it's totally alien to what we know.
Yeah, and getting back to the Acolyte, let's talk about, because a lot of people said that Soul died. Soul deserved to die because he did a lot of stupid stuff. You go back and watch episode 7, and Master Dar said, hey, go get Torben. bring him back. He met up with Torben. He said, "Hey, you know what? Let's climb up to the top of the wall and go in there." If they would have never did that, all this could have been avoided. Ocean May would just been witches of Brendok. They wouldn't even.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have had nothing to do with this. And then on top of that, everybody in this show just keep making stupid decisions. None of the characters because I sound like the actors, but the character motivation of this show don't make any sense. They keep switching. One moment Ocean and May are fighting, the next moment they love each other, then the next moment they're fighting, then they add new powers at the end. Kamir said, "You know what? Because it seems like it's some type of relationship going on beyond just master and apprentice."
Yeah.
So it's like the Kamir dude was like, "Hey, I just had OSHA." You know what I'm saying? Now, I just had, hey, I'm gonna trade you in for the better twin. Give me OSHA. I'll take her. Like, bro, what type of writing is this? What type of weird mess is this?
It's terrible. And that's why this person who wrote this, I forget her name, should not have a hand in Star Wars, period. Everybody's knowledge should be tested before they're qualified to be a writer of Star Wars. And like you said about Soul, man, Soul deserved worse. He was one of the trashiest characters that I've seen in a long time. He started off good. I liked him at first. But he did not have control over his emotions. He did not have Jedi decorum. And it seemed like he didn't have Jedi training outside of saber work and a little bit of force. He was completely divorced from the Jedi philosophy. And it showed in his decision making. Didn't have any calculation of what was going on. He couldn't weigh and discern what he should have been doing. He was just making moves at the spur of the moment. He was worse than Torben. He was like a Padawan in his skill to judge right and wrong, to judge what he should do and what he shouldn't do in the heat of battle. And you know what's crazy? Another thing you spoke on, Kamir trading OSHA for May. Why come he didn't have a relationship with May since he spent so many years with her? He was the one who got her when he got her when she was 8 years old and raised her from a child to an adult. But you're telling me he's not more fond of May than he is OSHA?
Well, that's the crazy thing about it. We don't know when they finally met up because they didn't even explain that. We just saw that May survived. But, you know, most marriages end in divorce. And so he wanted to get rid of his old wife and get him another one. And he has a type too, because he wanted one that looked just like the other one.
But you know what? You can't really fault Kamir for this because it's not like he's cheating on May. They're the same person. So he got the same wife. There's really no difference.
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
There are lots of unanswered questions still. We talked about in our review of episode 7, how are they going to answer some of these questions? One of the questions was, why come Torben was so depressed? What did he do that pushed him over the edge to the point where he wanted to self-delete? Why? Another question is, what is Kamir's history?
Yeah.
What was he doing prior to meeting up with May? What were his motivations? What was his relationship like with his master? What caused him to turn over to the dark side? And I assume that he was trained by Plagueis. What pushed him in that direction?
Yeah, how did
he meet him? And why did Kamir and his master come to blows?
From a scale of whack to masterpiece, where do you rank this?
Episode 8 was probably one of the worst episodes of the season. I would say the worst one was episode 7. Episode 3 is a close second. And then you have episode 8 in third place. The episode didn't answer any questions, didn't settle any of the mysteries. Like, where is Mother Korra? For all we know, she turned into smoke and disappeared. I thought that was going to be settled in episode 8. But this is my opinion. Because the series is so trash and so outlandish, I think that Mother Korra was Plagueis in disguise. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that. But the episode was trash. It was garbage. There was nothing to love about it. There were some good ideas in the series, but they were poorly executed. And the good ideas that they could have built upon to make the series better, they just left them by the wayside. And it seems like they weren't even aware of the good ideas that they had. And that's the mark of a terrible writer. And since the writers were terrible, so was the series. The series is absolute garbage. It needs to be cut short if they have a second season planned. Put your money elsewhere. This series cost Disney $180 million. Next season, give that $180 million to the poor. Don't even waste time with this.
Yeah, I'm done talking about this show. This is trash. Man, I don't even want to see a season 2. Most likely to get a season 2. But hey, if it gets to season 2, we probably watch it and review it and tell you how trash that is too, which you probably already know because a billion other YouTubers said it was trash. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. And we're out of here.
Peace.